welcome to yet another Billy's Books. This is going to be the end of the trilogy of the Aftermath trilogy. The third one is called Empire's End. If you can see this reflecting ever so much, this is the Empire's End. It's got a big Star Destroyer. The idea is, I haven't gotten to the end because I always review before the end so I don't accidentally ruin the ending. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be, the big finale is going to be the Battle of Jakku, which you see the remnants of at the beginning of episode 7, the movie. What basically everybody's already kind of focusing on the Empire. What's remained of it has brought all their ships and stuff to Jakku, which is really out in the middle of nowhere, desert planet, more out of the nowhere than even Tatooine. Jakku is even further out and more irrelevant. But Gallius Rax, who was supposedly one of Sloane's advisors, but really pulling the strings after the Emperor died, has got something hidden there, but we don't know what. Sloane has escaped there. She was once the big cheese of the Empire, but after the second book, she's just sort of in hiding, and also trying to figure out what's going on with Gallius Rax on Jakku. Jakku, there's something down there, but we don't know what. Nobody knows what, but it seems to be a big deal. One portion of Jakku is run by a Hutt. That's a female whose name is Nimya or something like that. Nimya or Nima, something like that. Anyway, she's a Hutt, and what's interesting about Hutts is you think that you always think of Jabba the Hutt as this big blob worm who's always being served by his slaves. He just lies there. That's still true with her, but when push comes to shove, kind of like a resting alligator in the sun, suddenly the Hutts can move fast. So they are just as dangerous as their crime syndicates. As in all of this trilogy, there seem to be some of those, what do they call them, non-chapters, interludes, that's right, interludes, which seem to just bring in new characters quickly and then disappear, perhaps never to be seen again in the rest of the book, like they did in the first one. We saw Han and Chewie once, and then we didn't see them again until the next book. We've seen one interlude so far with Jar Jar Binks. I didn't even know he was still alive. Well, he is, and he's sort of a clown that everyone hates, he ends up at some sort of space orphanage, and there's some kid that everyone hates because he's deformed and for some reason has a bad attitude about being an orphan, deformed orphan, that no one adopts him. So he bonds with Jar Jar. That's all we know. Sometimes I think that these interludes are the author's way of sort of connecting disparate stories from different books and different movies and tying them all together. But sometimes it feels a little maybe superfluous. I'm noticing a lot that Mon Mothma, the Chancellor, this is an election year, and there's some other guy who may or may not be doing some subversive stuff to get reelected. She tends to persevere his BS a lot, which I think is an interesting choice of words for a book from 2017. She persevered during the election, back in the rebellion, the New Republic. They're always persevering. As you know from my science fiction reviews, I often pursue robots. You may know that there's a lot of robots in Star Wars. They are called droids. In this, there's a very prominently featured droid in this trilogy, the Aftermath trilogy. His name is Bones, and he's an old battle droid from the Clone Wars that has been very much decked out and changed and made unique and weird by a kid named Temin. Bones is cool, and he does a rescue mission, and he gets destroyed, and his head wakes up realizing that he's surrounded, he's broken and surrounded by pieces. And I'm just going to read this little bit from the CPU of this smashed droid. Woe darkens the Matrix mind. Despair is not merely a human condition. Droids know the doom of existence and the end of things. And Bones worries suddenly, a deep, hungry worry, like a slick-walled pit one cannot escape from, a pit where even light is swallowed whole. He worries that he is dead, that he will not be able to fulfill his mission. This Aftermath trilogy is exciting. I think that they try to pack in too much, certainly in this third one, because they're trying to get all these different sub-stories going on at once. We do see more of the Vader Lives graffiti once more in another interlude, but that seems to be it. But they're still seem pretty unattached to the rest of the story. Maybe he'll tie it in at the end of this trilogy. I have my doubts. So a couple of different characters, Jas the Bounty Hunter and Nora. She is the rebel pilot who is the mother of the kid that raised Bones from the dead. Nora's on a mission to catch Sloane because she holds herself responsible for Sloane escaping. All these things, really. Let me just say, Nora's got a lot on her plate, a lot to deal with. Anyway, so they get down there, and the bounty hunter is calm and cool and collected, and Sloane and Nora is out for revenge. And usually it's sort of the other way around, because Nora's supposedly someone from the New Republic and supposed to be all responsible, and the bounty hunters are the ones that are just sort of bloodthirsty. But not this time. So anyway, the big theme from this book, and perhaps the whole trilogy, if you want, or even all of literature, could be at one point Jas says to Nora regarding Sloane, who she's pursuing, has her in her sights, almost in her sights. The question is, do you want justice or do you want revenge? Stuff is going down in Jakku. Gonna have to read the rest of the book to find out what happens. If you can't do, review.
Lost your phone off the net. I was alone. Birds in the sky fly so high they don't